name is Amel Alghrani. I'm a professor of law. I guess in my research I've always been interested in how we can use law to tackle inequalities in society. The research project that we did was a multidisciplinary cross-institutional study which looked at the impact that the COVID pandemic and the associated lockdowns had had on children and young people with special educational needs and disabilities. We wanted to work out what now needs to be done to help remedy the situation and what the priorities were going forward, and importantly how we could make sure that these were fed back to the relevant stakeholders and policymakers so that it could impact positive societal change. From the outset, in designing the project, we knew we wanted it to lead to change and it to be impactful. And we knew that in order to do that, we had to engage with the relevant people, the relevant stakeholders and the relevant policymakers. So at the very beginning of the project, we made sure we co-produced the study, how we would do it. We put the idea before a youth panel and we asked young people, what do you think about this project? What could we do to make it better? We also set up an advisory group with all the relevant stakeholders and said, this is where we think there's a gap in the evidence. What do you think? Where do you think the gaps are? And how could this project lead to some positive change or help in your domain when drafting policy? We were surprised by how receptive the stakeholders were. There seemed to be a slight frustration that those doing the research weren't connected with those making decisions and how we could bridge that gap. People were very generous with their time. They were very receptive. I'll also say it was a fantastic experience engaging and co-producing with the children and young people and the families. I think the main challenge with doing research that's impactful is the time lag between getting the data and getting it published. Obviously, peer review and getting journal articles accepted can take a significant period of time, often up to 12 months. And when you're doing evidence briefings and you're sharing the findings of your data, a lot of the policymakers want the journal article there and then so that they can cite and reference it. The thing that surprised me is how a lot of people are also motivated by this sense of wanting their work to lead to change, for it to be impactful. How many of us in different domains share the same core objective, and actually how working with different disciplines and different stakeholders can really help to achieve that aim. Impact can be daunting to many academics. The criticism we have as academics is that we work in this ivory tower and we publish papers no one reads, and that's just not true. Everything and anything that we're doing can be impactful and should be impactful, because we're doing really important work here at the university that can lead to evidence-based reform and positive change. My advice would be to identify how your research could help respond to societal challenges and engage with the policymakers, everyone from local to national government, MPs, select committees, charities, organisations working within your domain. You may be surprised how amenable they are to hear from you and how interested they are in your research, and also how willing they may be to collaborate with you.